The modernised Hawthorns, home of West Bromwich Albion, stages our live action this afternoon as Charlton look to transform a very worrying sequence. Charlton and West Bromwich Albion gave us an afternoon of high quality at the Valley in November. Now we present the rematch. Albion have climbed steadily since that 1-1 draw. They've overtaken Charlton, whose season could go either way. Charlton's scoring record is quite outstanding, but they're leaking goals at an alarming rate. Take 5 at Bolton last time out. The tension is starting to show. What a contrast, though, at Watford. Glenn Roeder's team haven't let in a goal all year. We'll see a hat-trick from Darren Baisley at Southend. Watford now very much in the promotion picture. And at last, a league win for the O's. Orient emerged from a barren 3 months with an unexpected but very welcome salvo. Hello, good afternoon to you all. Well, Charlton have been involved in 11 live televised matches and they need that elusive win more than ever today. Well, my guest started a great career at the Valley. He moved to West Ham and he's now working with the young men of Queen's Park Rangers. It's Billy Bonds, of course. Bill, welcome.
Thank you, Jim.
How's your new job going?
Yeah, enjoying it very much. It's nice working with the kids, and QPR is a very good club.
And you've got strong Charlton connections going way back to when you were in it.
Yeah, way back. My mum and dad were great Charlton supporters, and that was my first game at the Valley. I used to go down there as a kid, get the bus to Woolwich Common and walk across the Common, and so I've got great memories of Charlton. OK, Bill, we'll talk more about the present Charlton side in just a moment.
Hello once again. Well, very shortly we're off to the Midlands for West Brom against Charlton at the Hawthorns. Well, Albion, in common with many other clubs, have modernised their ground thanks in no small part to a grant of over £2 million from the Football Trust. Betty Boothroyd, Speaker of the House of Commons, also MP for West Bromwich West, is at our game to present that cheque to Tony Gale, the Albion chairman. And following the Taylor report, the Football Trust has allocated over £121 million to help ground development.
Madam Speaker, if I may ask you, do you come here often?
From time to time, actually. Wow, what's that? I can't say that I come frequently, but I have been many times, and this is a very great day today.
You must be very impressed by what you see in the new stadium.
I am enormously impressed. It is wonderful, you know. OK, this used to be a football club, now it is a stadium. It is wonderful. I'm so excited at being here, and you hear everybody else is too.
And today, best of order and the best seat in the house.
And yes, and the Baggies are going to win. All right.
Well, she normally has the best seat in the house, doesn't she? That's Betty Boothroyd talking to Phil Mepham. On a more general point, Bill, the grounds have really picked up. They really have improved, haven't they?
Yeah, it's terrific. I mean, football's had a little bit of stick the last year or so, and that is one thing that really has improved in the game all over the place now. I think if you'd been out of the country the last 2 or 3 years and you come back and you wonder what's happened. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
OK, well now here's Gabriel again, starting with Brentford's visit to the Goldstone Ground and David Webb's team, of course, of injuries at the moment down at Craven Cottage. After the break, we'll be joining the Luton manager David Pleat and our commentator John Helm for West Brom and Charlton Athletic. Hello again. Well, the teams are out at the Hawthorns. Billy, what are your thoughts on this one?
It's strange, Charlton, because the last 3 or 4 seasons when they were pushing for the playoffs, they didn't concede goals. Now this year they're conceding goals. They're scoring goals, that's no problem to them, but it's been conceding goals. But it's a big game for them. I think if they can get a result here today, they play Sunderland next week at home. 2 good results and they can push up the table a little bit.
It is an absolutely crucial match, really, for Charlton. I've got a feeling the whole season is sort of resting on this one.
Well, I mean, West Brom lost their last home game, but they've been very strong at home. That's been their strength. That's pushed them up the table a little bit, so it will be a difficult game for them, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope we'll get a result. Yeah.
Let's cross to the Hawthorns now, shall we? And join our commentators, David Pleat, and first of all, it's John Helm.
Good afternoon and welcome to the new look Hawthorns, which has never looked so spick and span. Over £4 million worth of improvements have been completed here, and this now a stadium fit for the 21st century. While Albion manager Alan Buckley wants to build a team for the next century, and today calls on a familiar lineup. Stuart Naylor in goal, Kieran O'Regan preferred to Neil Parsley at right back, and on the other side of the back four, Steve Lilwall deputises for Paul Edwards, who's ill. Darren Bradley returns from suspension to add craft to midfield, and Tony Rees is chosen ahead of Bob Taylor to lead the attack. Albion will play a basic 4-4-2 formation with Kevin Donovan down the right and David Smith down the left, expected to supply width and a decent service to Hunt and Rees. Well, David Whyte continues to shoulder the burden in attack for Charlton. The former Palace striker has done so well in his debut season at the Valley. He's already scored 16 goals. Few in the division have struck more. Alan Kirchley's side today is again influenced by injuries, and 18-year-old Jamie Stuart is given a league baptism at left back. Stuart Balmer returns after suspension in defence, and Whyte is partnered up front by Garry Nelson, with Carl Leeburn again sidelined through hamstring trouble. Charlton also favour a 4-4-2 system, and that features Keith Jones and Alan Pardew in very differing midfield roles. Jones does the holding job. Pardew is expected to make incisive runs. Referee today is Pip Wright, who comes from Northwich in Cheshire. And David Pleat alongside me, the manager of Luton Town. Is a lovely afternoon for football, David.
Yes indeed, John. No wind, a perfect surface, two sides that like to pass the ball around. Let's hope the entertainment is as good as the afternoon.
And the Hawthorns in all its glory. Not a capacity crowd, but it's a goodish one. And on arrival here today, I was told that Luton and Bolton have been the best sides who had been here all season, David. Something that will please you, no doubt. There's Tony Rees. Preferred to Bob Taylor, and I understand it's the first time that when he's been available, Bob Taylor has not been selected in the starting 11. He did get a bit of a knock in training to his knee during the week, and it could well be that Alan Buckley will bring him on later in the match. First they give him 45 minutes rather than 90. Charlton in the red shirts and black shorts. West Brom in that most traditional and famous strip of blue and white stripes. Ball hit towards the edge of the Albion penalty area. Back from Hunt. West Bromwich Albion have the best defensive home record of any team in the division. They've conceded only 9 goals here, so they're a very mean team. Their problem has been scoring goals. And indeed the starting 11 have got only 10 between them all season. Ironically, the two substitutes, Ashcroft and Taylor, have 14. Brown's header. And the first free kick awarded by Mr. Wright there in your picture. Against Tony Rees. This much travelled striker is back close to home today, ex-Birmingham man.
Yes, Alan Buckley thinks a lot of Tony Rees. Indeed, he's the only player that he's signed since he's taken over this club, and he knew him well from earlier days with Midlands clubs, but he's a very bright striker. You'll see him spin when the ball's played up to Hunt. He spins off. He's got a little trick, and he's possibly more mobile in his way than Bob Taylor, but as we all know, Bob Taylor is a very good player, and I think Buckley is for sure looking to use all 3 strikers this afternoon, but he feels that possibly Rees might run them more in the early stages of the game.
Lilwall. A nice little turn back by Rees there, and picked up by Andy Hunt. He'll try a shot, and Salmon spreading himself to make the save effectively. Andy Hunt with 4 goals already this season. Mike Salmon back in, and there's the crowd almost basking in the Midlands sunshine.
It's a marvellous stadium here. Wolves and West Brom have really done well in this part of the Midlands. Everyone's seated.
Rees beaten on the jump by Richard Rufus, and there's some more tackling for Rufus to do, and a young man who's impressed you, I know, David.
Yes, I've seen him play once or twice. A very long-legged boy, good stride. That was an important challenge because David Smith will like to get some superiority on that side early. He's had a very good game evidently in the reserves in midweek, and that's led to his inclusion here in the team today. And Alan Buckley will be hoping that he can get down that side and give some problems to the rather tall fullback Steve Brown. And if he does get beyond him, Rufus is going to be expected to cover.
There is the West Bromwich Albion manager, who came here from Grimsby Town after West Bromwich Albion had a wretched start to the campaign. Pardew slipping the ball to this young left back, making his debut. What a great day it is for young Jamie Stuart. The ball just eluding him there as it goes through for Rees. A nice little layoff again from Rees to Donovan, but a sterling challenge from Rufus. And now Mark Robson. Mortimer. Not the best of passes from Mortimer though, and it enables Bradley to drive the ball up, and there Rufus shows he can read the game well too. Well, he mustn't let that unnerve him, the 18-year-old.
Always tell young players when they start, it's not the mistake that you make, it's how you react to it. And there was a hurried clearance after Jones gave him a little bit of a difficult ball. Now we'll see if the next couple of minutes whether that horrendous miss-kick causes him a problem.
Hunt battling away there on the edge of that penalty area, but the ball comes back for Charlton's Paul Mortimer, who used to play up the road as Aston Villa. And in sharply there was Hamilton. Regan's ball was a gift again for Mortimer, and they're an equal present to give it back to Mardon, and both sides contriving to give the ball away rather frequently at the moment. Hunt climbing nicely for this. Hamilton. And Regan, that has to be a foul. The tackle from behind by Mortimer. Now this was something that was outlawed during the World Cup, and well, Mr. Wright choosing not to show a yellow card.
Well, Mr. Wright can't be wrong, but I mean, there's no cause for a yellow card or anything, and
Rees. And here's a chance for Charlton because they've got three men up, and David Whyte will pop the ball across there, and it was as well for Albion that Lilwall was there. But here's Mark Robson, and driving Charlton forward, he finds Garry Nelson, and the ball rolled invitingly for Brown. And the first corner of the game goes to the visiting side.
That's fine movement. I mean, Whyte did well on the halfway line. His balling was excellent. It was well intercepted, but Pardew made a great break. And when the ball finally was played into Brown there in the wide position, and it was played back, Brown's shot was well saved. But it was a good attack. Notice how Charlton got 6 men into the box, and that started with this Whyte breaking away on the left-hand side.
Well, Charlton, an inventive side who've scored a lot of goals this season, and Robson knocks one in, and there's still a chance here for Whyte. The ball bobbling around and finally cleared by Mardon for Albion. It was good clearance because it landed perfectly for Rees. And Hunt wants the ball in the middle, and if it was a better cross delivered to him, he might well have been on his way to goal by now.
Lovely breezy start this. Lovely touch once again by Rees. He's already shown his quality twice. Sent Smith away. And that was also a good early ball. Defender has no opportunity other than to get that ball away for the corner.
Hamilton, rather flat, and the Charlton defence able to clear easily. And then a bit of shirt tugging between Whyte and Lilwall, and it's Albion who emerge with the ball. Robson, who stays out on the touchline this time. Get between the two Albion defenders, however. Does win it back and gets a free kick as well to Mr. Wright.
Once again, the referee within 2 yards of the incident.
He's a very eager player and got good skills. Mark Robson, who's now playing with his 7th different club in the Football League, trying to establish himself with Charlton. Keith Jones hovering over the free kick, and it is Robson who flights it, and a first-time header from David Whyte, who's not the tallest man, but he got it well there and got a clear header on goal.
Yeah, straight ball in. I mean, they knew what was going to happen. It was a straightforward in-swinger there. You see the marking. Whyte gets in front there. Definitely a goal poacher, Whyte. Scored goals at Crystal Palace in the reserves last season. It looks as though it's been a profitable move for him, and for Charlton, of course.
Lilwall, a good clearing header, down nicely by Hunt. Well, Charlton Athletic have been leaking goals at an alarming rate in their last 2 matches, 9 in all. But Richard Rufus and co so far dealt comfortably today. Here is Lilwall. It's not a good ball from Hunt though, and Robson will fire the ball forward, and well spotted by the goalkeeper Naylor, who had no option but to put it out for a throw-in to Charlton.
It's quite amazing how this pitch has dried out, because all the rain we've had in it, there's hardly any divots coming up at all in the early play.
Rees somehow emerges with the ball, rather fortuitously maybe, and you could see what was on his mind there, trying to bisect the centre-back and left-back. Didn't aim it correctly.
Warm applause there from the crowd. I don't think it's the most popular decision to leave Taylor on the bench today, although he's supposed to have taken a knock in the week. But Rees has got a lot to do to win them over. They like the Taylor-Hunt partnership.
Raven, the former Doncaster Rovers defender. And that's surely the clearest free kick of the season. A trip from behind. And Steve Brown, and Charlton showing great eagerness in these early attacks. They try not to refer too much to their television jinx, but they've not won a live match since the 1947 Cup final at Wembley. So they reckon they're due one. And they've made a bright start here at the Hawthorns. And Mark Robson is going to play this free kick in for them. And it's well directed, but too close to Naylor, who decides that route 1 is the best option. Up to Rees. Rufus holding him off, is he? He is. Well, Rees did a good job there and plays a very intelligent free kick. And here's a chance for Albion, but the flag is again raised and it's going to be offside. But sharp thinking by Tony Rees.
Well, if there was any action there designed to beat the commentator's eye, that was it. I mean, the free kick was taken very brightly. I'm not sure it was a free kick in the first place. I think Rees was using all his experience there to hold the defender off, and I think the linesman got it wrong.
Tony Rees, who's due a goal as well. We were talking about Charlton being due a win on live television. Tony Rees hasn't got a goal since January 1993, and he's a striker. Well, Mardon's clearance ricocheting away from the toe end, but Charlton still picking up the ball and winning plenty of good possession around the halfway line. Mortimer concedes possession again rather too easily. That's Bradley's ball over the top of the defender. Here comes Rees using his speed again, and Albion have a throw in. O'Regan, but they've only 2 in the middle, Albion. And O'Regan continues his run well, and now it comes for Hunt, and a sizzling shot from him Flying wide of the right-hand upright. Andy Hunt is averaging a goal every 2 games for Albion before this season.
He had to take that shot rather quickly. On his favourite foot though, Hunt just has a swing at it. I mean, the Charlton defensive partnership today of Balmer and Rufus, it's an unusual one. They've been playing regularly with the big Chappell, who heads the ball away well, and McGleish, but of course they have lost goals recently, and this combination today, particularly with a young left back as well in the covering position on the wide left, it'll be very interesting to see how they cope with Albion.
Yes, I think it's worth just referring, David, to the injuries that Charlton have, including Phil Chappell, who's got a groin injury, Kim Grant, who's out with knee trouble, Carl Lieben, hamstring trouble, Paul Sturgis out with an ankle thing that's going to keep him out for about 6 weeks, and Colin Walsh, who faces a knee operation. So they're very, very much below strength, and Alan Kirbishley stressing that only once this season has he been able to field at the side that he'll regard as his strongest. Buckley's done a good job in lifting West Bromwich Albion from next to bottom to 16th position, as they are at the moment, since he arrived here in October. It is still the shortage of goals that is their downfall. Balmer's foot may have been rather too high for the liking of the Albion fans there, but Mr. Wright's the only one that matters, and he was happy about it. Keith Jones. Mr. Wright was close enough to see it. Shoveling action with the right arm. Donovan knocks it into space here. Jamie Stuart, who's had quite a number of games in the reserve side at the Valley, finally getting his chance. Up against an out-and-out wingman at the moment, which is probably a relief to him, and he makes an effective clearance. Lilwall. Great chance by Pardew, but the ball still spins away for Albion to get a chance, and here might be a goal for them. Donovan drives it into the side netting. Well, it was one of those that came to him very quickly. Could have gone in, could have gone out. It went just the wrong side.
There's a very good position by Donovan at the back post there, getting into the 6-yard box. But it was a marvellous pass, wasn't it? Bisecting the 2 Charlton players, and Smith did well. I thought he might have taken it on a shade further, but it was a good low cross. Give credit to Mortimer for tracking back Donovan.
Kevin Donovan, just 3 goals so far this season. He got that many in the first 2 matches last season. And that's indicative of the problems here at the Hawthorns. Charlton have problems of a different sort. They've one of the best scoring records in the league, but only Southend have conceded more goals. That was Nelson. This is Bradley for Albion, and that's Rees with the flick through, and it's Hunt against Rufus, and Hunt is quite sharp, and Rufus is quick as well. Well, that was more solid work from Charlton, and that will have pleased their co-managers, Kirbishley and Grit.
Keith Jones there trying to get Whyte through. Whyte showed and then spun away, but then he felt that Jones may not play the ball and he stopped his run. But in the initial place, Jones knew what he was doing, and Whyte was looking for it, but then he stopped running.
There's Rufus in the thick of things once again. Albion almost created space for Andy Hunt. And now Mortimer does have space. He's also got Nelson going up on his outside, and an intelligent pass out to Mark Robson. These two sides give the impression of being very evenly matched, and it's a very even division.
Yeah, they're both wanting to pass the ball. There's not a lot of running beyond over the top at the moment. It's mainly into feet. West Brom like to play into Hunt's feet. Rees is similar. He's quite tidy on the ball. I think Mark Robson can have an influence if they get the ball to him. I always feel like that whenever you play against Charlton Athletic.
Tony Rees pointing the way, but it's Charlton who have got the ascendancy in attack there as the ball is played out up towards the halfway line, but Rees able to bring it into, lay it into the path of Donovan. Did that very well, and Mortimer's done that well too. Bradley, too long. Now Brown, this rangy fullback who had a long spell out with a cruciate ligament problem. There he is again, onto the head of Pardew, who's gone greyer than Betty Boothroyd these days. Now there might be a chance for Albion. Hunt seeks to add a bit of pep to the attack and plays the ball. It was the right idea, but just the delivery let him down.
Yeah, he just overpassed it. Rufus is down. He went into a tremendous challenge there, but I think he came off second best.
Well, there's a stoppage at the moment because of injury, as you can see, to the Charlton man down on the ground, Richard Rufus. Down on the Charlton bench, Steve Gritt and Alan Kirbishley with plenty to say at the moment, but their defence seems pretty well organised, apart from when Donovan has had space coming through on the right-hand angle. What do you think the thoughts of Alan Kirbishley and Steve Gritt might be at the moment, David?
Yeah, well, I think that in the first few minutes, Alan was sitting above the game, looking down. I shouldn't think he'd be too concerned, really. Smith's got away a couple of times with balls across the box, but I don't think there's a runner from West Brom from midfield. I think without Ashcroft, they lack real pace, and Donovan, who's so good behind the front too in a loose role, doesn't really enjoy playing wide on the right. I think the Charlton bench will be reasonably happy so far.
Stuart. Now Pardew. Knocked into that space, and Whyte, again a willing runner, will try and hold things up and tries to spin on a shot. He'd not much hope from that sort of distance.
Yeah, I think you'll find if you look at his goals record, they'll tell you that he scores the spectacular ones, and that was really optimistic.
Stuart just about got away with that. He showed plenty of the ball. Emerged with it, that's all that matters. Now Rufus. O'Regan will look up and see Hunt and Rees trying to make runs ahead of him. And he'll try and loft the ball over the top of Brown, unable to do so.
Good covering. Good covering there by Brown.
Straight out of play by O'Regan. Charlton continue to give a good account of themselves here at West Brom, and neither side looking very capable of scoring goals at the moment, it has to be said. That can be a dangerous comment to make. Robson, this might be a good situation, but it's rather frittered by Robson, a tame ending. Robson, 3 goals scored in the last home match at the Valley in the 4-3 defeat by Derby, when Charlton really felt they had a chance to turn the corner and put some distance between themselves and the clubs at the bottom of the table. And Robson was in there very quickly, and here goes Alan Pardew. Pardew, one of those exuberant footballers, he just loves his game.
Yeah, he's very good at breaking forward from midfield. Jones is a good ally because Jones does a good sitting job in there. But the important thing, Pardew, if he arrives in the box, he's very good in the air. So whenever the ball's wide, expect him to be breaking in between the 2 front players, Whyte and Nelson.
There is Nelson now, with Brighton and Hove Albion, of course, and here's Brown's cross, met by O'Regan. He's not the tallest defender, but he gets in to do his work, just as Balmer did for Charlton then. Spins away to David Smith, who's got a lovely left foot. Now, has he got the pace to outstrip the defence? There are 3 red shirts around him, and he does well, holds it up nicely. There is Hamilton. O'Regan. Still these 2 sides vying with one another at the moment. Neither claim the superiority in the game as yet. The first goal could make all the difference in this game.
I just feel Albion sometimes, when they get the ball forward, are a little bit slow to support.
Yes, when you look at the Albion midfield this year, they've not got many goals between them. 3 from Donovan, 2 from Hamilton, and that's it.
No, I think if you look at the home record, you talked about a mean defence, John. They've only conceded 9. And one of the reasons, of course, that they've only conceded 9 is because they definitely sit with people behind the ball. That ironic applause was for Mr. Wright, who slipped over in doing the honourable thing, returning the ball to the thrower.
Don't fans love that? They love to see the referee on the backside, don't they? He's a nice man, Mr. Wright, actually, and he's officiated very calmly and well today. Here's Jones into the penalty area, and he's balked, but might still get something from this, and whips in across. And that was good refereeing as well. He allowed play to continue well.
Splendid play there by Keith Jones. We talk about him being a holding player. He went on a little run there, and I thought he did really, really well. Lost control at the death, and even then managed to get it back, managed to find Naylor's hands.
Hunt against Rufus again, and Rufus keeps calm, and that's all right. That's good defending. He's no other option there, and put the ball out. Bradley's corner for Albion, and easily claimed by Mike Salmon.
I think Charlton are comfortable at the moment, and the young boy at left back, Stuart, is doing quite okay. Whether Buckley thought, or the Charlton management thought, that Ashcroft was going to play wide right today, one can't be sure, but so far Stuart can rest assured that there's going to be no one at this game running at him like a winger.
Smith, who is an out-and-out wide player. Can't get the service through to Rees that he was looking for. Rufus, obviously, I know, has impressed you, David, and you're taking him to Italy with you with the Football League side.
Yes, hopefully he'll stay fit and he'll be able to go into that squad. Of course, he's a young player. He's come through the Charlton youth ranks, and so far, certainly this afternoon, he's shadowed Hunt very well. It's never easy for a young player to play at the heart of a defence. The centre-half position, I always feel, is sometimes it's like the spine of the team down the middle. Goalkeeper, centre-half, centre-forward. You know, experience is a big thing, so he'll have to learn the game quickly, but tremendous for him.
And he's in that Charlton team today in preference to the very experienced Alan McGleish, who's not even on the subs bench today. Charlton have Mickey Bennett and Scott McGleish, a young striker they signed from Edgware Town, on the bench. Alan Buckley is such an enthusiast, as he was in his playing days at Walsall and Birmingham City. Alan Buckley has much to ponder down there. Let's have a quick visit to the touchline and our reporter Matthew Lorenzo.
Couple of points to note really, John, just that the management duo, Alan Kirbishley and Steve Gritt, had agreed, I think, for the first half at least of this match to split up. Gritt down on the touchline in the dugout, Kirbishley up somewhere near the director's box. That arrangement lasted just about 5 minutes. Kirbishley came running down, the object of his attention, Paul Mortimer, who wanted up front, no doubt to help Garry Nelson, who after something like 600 appearances has finally made it to captain. So if Charlton do defeat this television hoodoo, it'll be a double celebration for Garry Nelson.
Thank you, Matthew. It's straight from the horse's mouth. Always nice to know what's going on down on the touchline and in the dugouts. I always wonder what influence managers can have once the game gets underway, and you would think very little. But I seem to prefer it down there. Here's Whyte with another header. Well, he's twice got into good positions now, and he's found the mark, but just wide.
A neat play by Charlton out on the right. It was a lovely turn by Keith Jones there. You see him, splendid little turn, looks to go infield, twists and hits it with his left foot. Early ball, the value of the early ball, and Whyte knows it's his job to get across the defender.
Possession again conceded, and Pardew and Nelson both up there together. That was Nelson on the edge of the area, and Nelson contriving to get a cross in here. There are three in the middle. Whyte might turn on this one. He's not got much space. Tries to find an opening, and good covering defence. But Charlton have looked the likely side in the last few minutes.
Charlton are beginning to look a little bit of a threat now, and I also sense that the West Brom crowd also beginning to get slightly restless. There's always a greater pressure on the home side, particularly when the two sides are in similar positions in the league. They always feel the home side should take advantage of that. And of course they've got a very good record here, but Watford certainly sport the party in midweek.
Yes, I was at Ayresome Park yesterday, David, where Middlesbrough's crowd got very agitated once Reading took the lead, and it really transmitted itself to the players, and Middlesbrough couldn't cope with it and lost the match. Yeah,
that's a good point. It often happens.
Steve Gritt and Alan Kirbishley will be happy enough with the scoreline at present, which reads West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 0. Highly competitive, as you would expect, and here goes Whyte again. Might try his luck, but he's a long way out. Instead he does the sensible thing and feeds Brown, and Charlton, to their credit, have 4 men in the penalty area. Pardew, well, he's the one to do the holding job. Meat and drink for Paul Mardon. But they do look very comfortable, as David Pleat said a minute or two ago.
Yes, well, apart from a couple of fierce balls played across the box from the Albion left, one of which Donovan may have scored, but to the attention of Mortimer, you have to say that Charlton have been the more inventive side.
They've won 3 times away from the Valley. They won at Grimsby Town, they won at Port Vale, and I hesitate to mention this, but they won at a certain place called Kenilworth Road, Luton.
I can't tell you that the noise in these headphones are terrible, John.
That timing. Hunt's done well there, climbed well and got a little back header in, but Charlton cope admirably once again, and Robson tries to play Nelson through. Always a difficult pass, that one.
Yes, and I mean the forward's on his own anyway, he hasn't got support. It was rather a straight ball.
Yes, football in many ways is all about angles. And, trying to get some width now, Lilwall. Well, Rufus, for a young man, he's just 20, has coped admirably so far against the wily Tony Rees. And there's Brown helping out too. He's emerged very well in the last 2 seasons. Pardew's pass. There's Donovan tracking back to retrieve the situation for Albion. And here goes Hamilton. He dallied and presented the ball here to Whyte. And Charlton continued to stream forward in numbers. Mortimer's got space down the left and wants the ball. Keith Jones instead chooses Stuart. Mortimer's working hard down the left.
Yes, he's more of a tucked-in left-sided midfield player, and he has played a lot at left-back. Of course, he's had a strange career. Crystal Palace, Villa, he's been involved in a couple of quite big money moves, but he's never really established the early promise that he showed. But he's working very hard on that left-hand side, and he's the protection today for the young fullback making his debut, Stuart. The penetration is bound to come from the other side. If they can get Robson enough of the ball, that's where I think they can do the damage.
Hunt's header, and Brown covering well. Donovan loops it up into the air again, and there's still plenty of men in, and here is Hunt trying to turn, trying to get a little back heel in maybe, and Murray's the defender who clears. Whyte. Whyte and now Brown. Robson might try and tease the defence here and use his pace to get a good cross in. Here's a chance for Nelson, and the header smothered on the line by Naylor.
Well done, Robson. He got behind his left back quite easily with a lovely little trick, and I just feel Nelson might have done better with the header. It was a well-flighted ball. Here we see it, foot over the ball. Lovely ball, deep to the back post. The defender caught a bit square. He lost his man, O'Regan. Watching the ball, man and goal. He's got to have all three in his sights. There's the ball coming in again.
And back with the live action, it's Donovan trying to take his young opponent on the outside, and here's a chance for Smith, and he's not the best header of a football, David Smith. I can't remember the last time he got a goal with his head. In fact, it's a long time since he got a goal of any sort, the start of last season, back in the August.
Yes, he's early Coventry days, he was good for a goal going down the left-hand side, and he scored one or two spectacular efforts. But Alan Buckley's got some faith in him because he's a neat, tidy player. May remind him a little bit of his player at Grimsby that did so well for him, Gilbert. A very crafty left-footed player who can make the play. But he was in a good position there when that ball was crossed, and that's where really Albion have got to get to. They've got to get beyond the full-backs in the wide positions.
Forward again from Jamie Stuart, covered by Mardon. Mardon, who started his career down in Bristol, in the Birmingham City, and then came here last season. And here is Balmer, one-time Celtic man. He's on the transfer list at Charlton. They continue to give as good as they're getting in this match. We've passed the half-hour mark in the game without a goal. And in truth, neither Mike Salmon in the Charlton goal nor Stuart Naylor has really had much to do, although we've just seen Naylor making that rather unconventional stop from Nelson's header. Here goes Whyte again. He's good with the ball at his feet, trying to roll it through there. Charlton still have chances because Nelson is here inside the Albion penalty area, and it's just taken away from Robson by Smith coming back.
Yeah, White's got some intricate footwork at times. Sometimes he doesn't appreciate colleagues as well as he should. He doesn't get his head up and have a quick look. But he's certainly got the dribbling skills, and he's a little problem at the moment for Albion.
This is Rufus, and there's Nelson with a clear header. But it's come away for Albion's benefit. Donovan, there are 4 Albion men ahead of him. One of them here was Rees. Wasn't the best ball back to Donovan, but he might still get something from it. And for the second time, Tony Rees unable to get it through, and there'll be calls for the local hero Bob Taylor before long, maybe. Nelson again sweeps one across the area, and Steve Lilwall puts it out. Lilwall brought into the side today because Edwards is unfit and able to celebrate his 25th birthday with a game, Steve Lilwall. Charlton's Brown with a good ball. He's picked out Mortimer here, and Mortimer could have taken a nasty deflection off Mardon, but he controlled it and then played it out. Just a feeling in the last few minutes, David, that Charlton are getting a bit on top in this match.
Yes, they've kept their shape quite well. I feel that Jones and Pardew are passing it better than their opponents in the middle of the field. Whyte's coming off, and if Rufus and Balmer at the back can stay strong against Hunt and Rees, then I think they can get the upper hand. Certainly at the moment, there's a typical poor clearance by Raven. Mardon's just done similarly when he had chance and time to clear. They've both kicked it wildly, and I've got a feeling that the crowd's anxiety is just transmitting itself through to the players a little bit.
It is indeed. Stuart Balmer. Regan's there in the conventional right back slot, and that is a foot toe high. I'm just going to say Mr. Wright has let the game flow. He's not stopped it unnecessarily, and we do have a stoppage there, but that's fair enough. A very high
well, the players have to contribute, and so far there hasn't been a bad foul in the game. The referee's been close to all the decisions, and fortunately for the players, the crowd and ourselves, there's been no controversies.
So Pardew is up there. David Blake referring to his strength in the air a moment ago, and Brown there too. But it's Hamilton who gets it away up to the halfway line. And then Balmer puts boot to ball, and Robson's onside here. I don't think he'll be able to control it, but the goalkeeper Naylor able to effect the stop.
That's quite humorous, you know. There's a 6'1" goalkeeper against a 5'4" jockey, little Robson. And the crowd are roaring for the free kick when here's the ball played in. There's no question of offside. He's run from deep as the ball's played. He's the only one running. Here he goes, jump for the ball. I bet Robson sometimes wish he was 6 inches taller.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that, was there? Mortimer in possession for Charlton, who are really getting on top in this game at the moment, and a good ball through, but Nelson, unfortunately for Athletic, is just offside. Garry Nelson, 34 years of age now, Charlton's top scorer last season with 15, but he keeps battling away.
Yes, well they say, or they have been saying for the last 2 or 3 seasons, the genuine performers, and indeed some of the best performances, are the oldest players with the wisest heads. It's unusual for a front player to be, particularly the way Nelson plays, he's what one would call a channel runner, to retain the pace and the enthusiasm to make the runs at that age. It's all credit to Nelson.
Again, a shot of Alan Buckley. Arthur Mann alongside him, his assistant, right-hand man. No pun intended. I suppose Nelson's adopting the theory that you're a long time retired in this game, and he wants to play as long as he possibly can. Jones just too far for Nelson. I don't think even when he was 18, I don't think he'd have got that ball. Down the line for Mortimer now, and a good deep cross from him, and Robson takes a swing at it, and a fresh air shot.
In the reverse fixture when they played at the Valley, Charlton dominated, I felt, for at least 50-60 minutes, but it was late on in the game where Albion found a little bit of rhythm and came towards it, and that was after Alan Buckley made a substitution. I think the substitution that day was a lad called Carl Heggs, and he's away on loan at the moment. I think he's down at Bristol Rovers, so he hasn't got the opportunity to play here today.
That's right, 1-1 it was that day. Bob Taylor scoring for Albion. He's on the bench today, a very unusual position for Taylor to find himself in. And again, it's a sort of clearance, that one, that gets the crowd going. They were not happy at all Rees with the flick through. Balmer and Pardew both there for Charlton, and it was Pardew's clearance. Keith Jones again. Nelson is down the left, and again he can't get to those.
Yeah, Keith Jones just a little bit disappointed there that he overhit that pass. But Charlton breaking out quite well. I feel they are the smoother team.
They certainly are, but Albion have this very good defensive record. They just do not seem to concede goals here.
They keep their shape at the back, John. If you look across the back four, very rarely does O'Regan go buccaneering forward. Lilwall certainly, at one time, I think when he first came from Kidderminster, he was very much an attacking left back.
That was excellent work by Brown. Much the taller man, he climbed above Smith to win a punishing header. And here he is again with a cross which might go to Mortimer. Free kick, Donovan just clipping Mortimer's ankles. Well, apparently Paul Mortimer hadn't been having the happiest of times at left back, but he seems to have been much more suited to a left side midfield role today.
Yes.
Charlton have this free kick right in front of those West Brom fans, as you can see, behind the net, guarded by Naylor, and it's quite a good looking one. And the corner will accrue for Charlton Athletic. So some defending yet to do for the Albion in these closing moments of the first half. A Mark Robson corner, Steve Brown one of those in there looking to be on the end of it, as is Balmer there. And here is Mortimer. They'll try a right-footed shot. Nelson. Garry Nelson slips one across, and another corner for Charlton. It's a very good, rousing finish to the half by the London side.
Yes, Alan Buckley, the manager of West Brom, needs half-time more than the Charlton duo of Kerbishley and Grit. I think that Charlton would be pleased to keep playing. They're beginning to look as though they've got an understanding of their pattern.
Well, how nice it would be for Charlton if they could just sneak a goal before the break. Well headed out, not just once but twice. Donovan, the second one to get under the ball. And that's good play again from Charlton, and Robson will sweep the one across here. Whyte was coming for it, and Charlton will have a hat-trick of corners here.
Super diagonal cross by Robson. There was a very good early ball out to him by Brown when the ball came out. I think it was Brown when the ball came out from the corner. Of course, this is where they missed Chappell and Lieber, and they were the two main ones that you had to mark when you play Charlton Athletic.
And you can sense some anxiety in the Albion side at the moment. As Mortimer nods it back in there. They've still got plenty of people up. Mortimer, not the rasping shot he was looking for, and it trickles 2 or 3 feet wide.
Well, there's not many Charlton supporters here today, but they'll be encouraged, I feel, with what they've seen. They've had a little bit of upheaval at the club recently, apart from the problems. There's that ball when it comes out, and Mortimer takes the shot early through the bodies. Never really was a serious, well-hit shot, was it? I was saying about the Charlton supporters, they've always been a well-supported club, the Valley, tremendous loyalty. They went back to that stadium with a great feeling for the club, the supporters, and they've travelled here today, and they're certainly getting their money's worth.
So half-time whistle blown by Wright here. We've had no goals at the Hawthorns, and Charlton Athletic certainly have looked the more impressive side, especially in the last 15 or 20 minutes of that half. Chances though few and far between, and at half-time here it's West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 0.
And hello once again from the Sunday match. So no goals so far at the Hawthorns, but Billy Bonds, I would think that Charlton well satisfied with the way it's gone in the first half.
Yeah, they've played very well. They've got a very young back four who've coped very well with the West Brom attack. I think they've had the one chance really with Donovan, and they're passing the ball very well. They've had some good little triangles down the right-hand side with Mark Robson involved, and no, it's looking good for them.
I mean, we spoke before the start about the need for Charlton to tighten things up, and they've obviously been working very hard defensively and done a pretty good job.
They've done that very well. They've got a little boy making his debut there, young Stuart. And
A bit nervous early on, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a little bit nervous, but it's a learning process for him. It'll be a great experience for him, and he's coped quite well. The boy in front's done well for him, Mortimer. He's doubled up on that side for him. But in the main, they've coped quite well with West Brom.
Well, they've coped okay. It'd been lovely if they'd had a goal, wouldn't it? David Whyte, who's got so many goals for them this season, had a good chance early on. Robson's free kick here.
Yeah, little Robbo is a great crosser of the ball, and White's got across his marker there, and really he's directed the ball on target, and unfortunately it's gone straight at the keeper, but it was a good chance.
He's a good goalkeeper, Naylor, but I thought that was and if they'd have got a goal at that stage, they could perhaps have gone on. Albion, as you've said, haven't looked dangerous all that often, have they? But they had the one opportunity. It was well created down the left side, and Charlton, thankfully, that Donovan wasn't on target.
Yeah, Donovan's done well. He's done what all good wide players should do, get on the back stick, and really he's done all he can. He's got a good strike on target, and just fortunately for Charlton, it's gone the other side of the post.
Charlton skipper today by Garry Nelson, who's been a great servant to the club, hasn't he? And again, once again, it's Robson, I think, isn't it, down
well,
that
little
far
Robbo's
side?
got the beating of this full-back, and I think if they can get the ball out to him enough, he's always going to supply that type of ball for you. And
That's
really,
a good header, isn't it?
It's a good header, and the keeper's had a little bit of luck, but he's got something on it, and I think he's trapped it with his backside, I think. But you know, he's had a little bit of fortune, but it was a good header.
It's a shame, isn't it? But it's one of those games where we look at chances like that and we say they've played well, but deep down you've got that little feeling that perhaps Albion might just break away and steal something.
Yeah, well, we were sitting here, weren't we, and saying, you know, it's got makings of West Brom going down there just a minute before half-time and grabbing an undeserved goal. But, you know, I think if Charlton keep playing the way they are, get the ball out to little Robbo. I mean, Robbo's shown that
He's
got
the key,
beat.
I think, isn't he?
I think if they can get it to him in that last third of the field, obviously they've got more danger down that right-hand side, him being a natural winger. I think they can go on and win the game.
Charlton have produced some pretty decent defenders over the years. You, sparing your blushes. Paul Elliott, of course, a really good defender. And Richard Rufus. Both David Pleat and John Helm have been very impressed with him this afternoon.
Yeah, I've seen Charlton quite a bit this year, and he's done very well. He's an emerging player. Obviously, he's still very inexperienced, but you know, as David said, he thinks a lot of him, and I know Alan does as well. Alan Kerbishy spoke to me about him quite a bit.
Right. OK, Bill, thanks very much indeed. Let me just point you towards next Sunday, first leg of the Coca-Cola Cup semi-final, live from the county ground, Swindon against Bolton. Be sure to join Bob Wilson for that one at 2:30 next Sunday. Wednesday week, live and only here on ITV once again, Liverpool against Crystal Palace, the second Coca-Cola semi, and that's 8 o'clock, February the 15th. And of course, you get the complete picture in Ensley League Extra. 12:50 tomorrow night. Nice sense of timing. Gabriel Clark has a special feature on Bruce Rioch's Bolton Wanderers, and that's 12:50 tomorrow night, and something like 94 goals as well in that show. We'll hope for some Charlton goals in the second half at the Hawthorns. We'll be going there after the break. Right, next match. Hello again. So no goals at the Hawthorns. Good match though, and a good performance from Charlton. Bill, they've kept the crowd quiet. In fact, the crowd are getting at Albion a bit now, aren't
at the end, weren't they? Yeah.
And Bob Taylor, would you expect to see him in the home side?
I think if the pattern of the game doesn't change for West Brom, then obviously they're going to have to put Bob Taylor on and maybe try and get at this young Charlton back four a little bit more, put a little bit more pressure on them, because they haven't really done that.
Very dangerous at the start of this half. It could go wrong quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Charlton wouldn't have wanted that half to finish. They were in a lovely little groove, passing the ball. They were creating, getting the ball wide, creating chances, and they wouldn't have wanted that half to finish. But West Brom obviously wanted to get them in the dressing room. So,
OK, let's get a view from Steve Gritt. He's with Matt.
Steve, no goals, but on balance you've had the better chances, I reckon.
I think so, yes. I think Garry Nelson had a very good chance. David Whyte's had another half chance. And I think on the balance of play, I think we certainly deserve to be leading the game.
Well, I can tell you, your opposite number, Alan Buckley, has gone into the dressing room. His only comment was, I'm going to introduce my players to each other.
Well, hopefully our lads will just keep going the way they have been so far. We're quite pleased with the way they've played in the first 45. I'm not too concerned what Alan Buckley thinks about his team. I'm more concerned with the job that we're trying to do.
OK, well, if Garry Nelson on his first day as captain scores the winner, the first time you win in 12 games on telly, it wouldn't be a bad result, would it?
I'll be delighted. I might even buy him something to drink if he manages to do it. But I think if we can stay solid and carry on creating the chances we are, hopefully we'll come out on top.
Good luck, Steve.
Thank you.
Well, the substitution already made in the second half for West Bromwich Albion, and it's Lee Ashcroft who comes out to take his place, and he'll play on the left side of midfield. I think it's David Smith who's gone off.
Yeah, David Smith worked very hard in the middle four of Albion. He had a couple of thrusting runs where he delivered balls across the box, but didn't deliver too much. And I suppose Ashcroft, who can really run with a little bit of pace, I think he'll be closer to support the front two. Certainly that in that period they got isolated, the Albion front two.
Well, Betty Boothroyd's taken a seat just in front of us. Let's hope that she enjoys the second half as much as you're going to do at home. I hope you are anyway. And here go Charlton with Keith Jones, and certainly it'll stop people talking about this TV jinx if Charlton do get a win. And here's David Whyte, and a good try from Whyte. He made it all for himself there, and that was a good try.
It was indeed. He manoeuvred very well. I think at first he looked out to Robson, and the Albion defence just shifted their attentions. Here it comes again. He's very good at jinking, twisting and turning. There he's going one way, then the other way. That's fine forward play.
Well, that's why he's got his 17 goals this season, scored in the last 3 league games, so he's on a roll at the moment. And what a good acquisition he's been for the club. He came in an exchange deal. And still Albion's passing not of the highest quality. Movement ahead of him. Who helps him out is Nelson, and a corner, and Garry Nelson will be very pleased with that contribution.
I find it a little bit interesting that Rufus doesn't go up for the corner kicks. They haven't got that much height. They keep Jones on the edge of the box, who can certainly shoot if the ball comes out to him. But I would have thought Rufus's height might be used in there, and they could drop someone else back with the young boy Stuart.
Good point made by David Pleat. And now Robson with this corner for Charlton. Still we look for the day's first goal, and Whyte is in here, and again it's gone out for another Charlton corner, and they're certainly winning on corners in this match.
Well, no two halves are ever the same in football, as we all know to our cost, and don't be surprised if Albion, I've seen them do it here before this season, they've allowed the other team, not necessarily purposefully, but the other teams had the territorial advantage for a lot of the game, and they've sneaked it 1-0ers. They've had some 1-0ers here.
Yes, they've kept 10 blank sheets in all. They have had a lot of 1-0ers. That was said with feeling, Daving. Here's this corner for Charlton. Again, it's to no fruition, though. And this time, Mr. Wright points for a goal kick. A few blue and white balloons around here, the appropriate colours. It's really a splendid stadium, and as we go around the country, the quality of stadiums has improved no end in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes, I don't think anyone will argue with that, John. The Taylor report has made everyone realise, not only for safety, but the importance of having good, comfortable grounds to take clubs on into the next century.
And there you see, here's a chance. This might be the moment for Albion's Hunt, and he's got to roll it past the keeper Salmon, and he couldn't do so. And all credit there to Mike Salmon, who's had virtually nothing to do in this match. Really, you've got to say Hunt should have scored.
I think so. We'll see that again in a minute.
We will. Let's see what happens first of all with Mortimer for Charlton here. Undoubtedly the best chance of the game for Albion, and they're looking to create another one now as the ball is swept much too close, I'm sure, to goalkeeper Salmon. Well, here it is, David.
Yeah, well, once the ball was flicked on there, the second flick by Rees has really put Hunt in. Brown doesn't seem to be treading water. I felt at that stage the goalkeeper did marvellously well to stay on his feet, but I really do think Hunt spurned a marvellous opportunity.
Yes, he's normally more clinical than that. All clubs have looked at Andy Hunt. Came here from Newcastle United a couple of seasons ago, and he's in the thick of things again now, as is Rees. That's where Rees is clever, a deft little touch, and Ashcroft, who's a clever player as well, whips the ball in, and it's Balmer's clearance that's effective this time. And Pardew. I've been very impressed with Whyte's footwork today. Robson, Jones, Robson. At times Charlton have looked like the home side in this match, and they're controlling things again now with Pardew. Robson's made the run, he's just got to keep it in first, and that was unfortunate because it was a lovely little move.
Yeah, Robson did well. He made the run outside of the fullback. It just shifted the Albion defence, and I thought maybe the better ball for Pardew to play was into Whyte in that particular instance. He was running out of ground was Robson. Even if he does get that ball, he's going away from goal.
Well, the Baggies fans, or the Throssels fans, one of the few clubs with two nicknames, or even the Albion, getting behind their side now. Ball was done today. Albion's record here, they've won 8, drawn 2 and lost 3 this season. But they were unbeaten in 8 games before that midweek defeat by Watford here. Lilwall. Mortimer. Down for Garry Nelson to have a tilt. Mardon stride for stride with him. Strong centre-back play, and then, well, Garry Nelson is seen by the linesman on that far side to have just been over-aggressive in winning the ball back.
A little bit too close for the linesman.
Bob Taylor on the bench today. Got an injury in training on Friday to his knee. But I think he might well get a taste of action this afternoon if the scores remain at 0-0 much longer.
There is a rumour Alan Buckley's keeping Bob Taylor out the shop window.
I think a few clubs might be interested in him. One of the most prolific strikers in the Emslie League. Now then, Tony Rees there. Doesn't look altogether happy at the moment, but he'll be in there looking for position from this free kick from O'Regan. Lofted to the edge of the area. And it's Pardew's clearance, and aided and abetted by Jones. And one of the few lapses in passing from Robson. Lilwall on to Rees. Try and open the door again for Hunt. Now it's Ashcroft. Might try one from here. And it wasn't a good shot anyway. It was something and nothing effort there. Hamilton stroking the ball. Bradley, who's had a very quiet match, I've got to say, in midfield for Albion. He's normally much more influential than he's been today with his passing. "21 players inside Charlton's half at the moment. Ashcroft and Hunt, and Ashcroft again. He's got past Brown this time, and a dangerous ball, but too long. Well, it might scrape in the far upright just for a moment. Rees, lovely little back heel. This has opened the way, and this could be Donovan. Well, that's the best little bout of football we've seen from Albion in attack.
There's a marvellously perceptive pass by Hunt that put Ashcroft in the first place. And then maybe Donovan was in a position that deserved a better finish. Here we see it, lovely clever back flick by Rees, he's very good at that. And when Donovan gets into that position, really, there must be an opportunity to square that ball back. The angle was a bit tight in the end.
Kevin Donovan's probably had the best 2 tries for Albion, one into the side netting, and that just clipped the outside of the upright. Rufus again does his job very professionally. A few oohs and ahs around the ground, but Salmon looked totally calm.
Albion have just upped the gear for sure. I think the introduction of Ashcroft, who's holding a very, very wide position for Albion, might just help them.
Well, Alan Buckley's a wily old bird, and he'll have worked that out during the first half, that Albion needed a bit more width. That's a good ball forward and allowed to run on. And Hamilton just unable to get past Balmer. But for the first time in the game, Charlton haven't been seen much as an attacking force in the last few minutes. Well, it might be now. Oh, no, that's a very wayward ball It allows Hunt to pick up possession and try and play Ashcroft down this danger area again, and that's a rather wretched cross.
Well, he's a right-footed player, is Ashcroft, although he's playing on the left. He would rather cut inside and use his right foot coming inside on the right back's left shoulder. But interesting, he's possibly the quickest forward they've got at West Bromwich Albion yet. Just looking at him, he looks possibly one of the heaviest.
And you can tell by Hunt's hair being plastered down that it is raining cats and dogs here in the Midlands. And what started as a lovely sunny afternoon. Good old England.
But no win.
But no win, that's good. And no goals at the moment. Might have one before long for you, you never know. Brown shoveling the ball down the line. And Brown's had a very effective game at right back for Charlton today. But, he's now put under more pressure since the arrival of Ashcroft than he was in the first half. And Rufus putting the ball out, just allowing Charlton to get their physio on to treat Alan Pardew.
That's one of the few occasions when the referee can stop the play while the ball is in motion if he feels a player has got a head injury, and it was quite clear there that Pardew was holding his head, as indeed was Bradley for Albion, and I felt he just possibly let the play go on a little bit too long there until Rufus cleared it. Of course, once the ball's out of play, then he can bring the physios on legally.
And there's the referee in the thick of it even more. It was a very good pass from him to Rufus, actually. Raven cuts this one out. And Charlton needing to raise a gear. Alan Buckley, though, was much happier, I would suspect, with the way Albion have started the second half than the way they were going at the end of the first. Now then, Whyte does well, slips the ball for Keith Jones here. Uses his turning power well. He'll come out for Brown. He could unleash a shot with his left foot. Oh, and it takes a deflection, and Charlton had a chance, and Whyte still unable just to get in there. And now Robson tries to curl one, but it's straight into the midriff of Naylor. Well, they were hanging on just a little, the Albion defence then.
Yeah, Naylor did well, I feel, to get to the first effort. Here we see it again. It's Brown that comes in, got a wicked deflection, came off the Charlton player last, Whyte, I believe it. That was the crucial touch, the second touch that took it away from Nelson. That was a very fine save.
But still, West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton 0, and Steve Gritt down on the touchline on his bench, not coming out into the rain, but they can hear him from there. There's a lovely shot of the Hawthorns under lights. Mortimer toiled very hard in the first half, and through it goes here for Nelson, and the defender slipped, and yet Nelson still got the chance to play himself in and drive in a goal. Garry Nelson for Charlton Athletic, and Charlton get the lead that their footballers deserved with Garry Nelson's first goal since one against Tranmere back in November.
The captain coming inside, couldn't quite hold it, greasy ball maybe, but he's done well in the first place, I feel, because that was clever. The dive in of Lilwall defender was rather silly, I felt, and then he's come across Raven and he's whacked that ball firm and fiercely, and Stuart Naylor couldn't hold on to that. And I think it's a just reward really for Charlton, who've been the more solid side and have passed it more sensibly and more effectively. Now we'll see a real game, because Albion have got to come out and push forward.
Absolutely, David. And a nice moment that for Garry Nelson, who's had a bit of a goal drought in recent weeks, but he's found the target now, the man who was their top scorer last season. What a priceless goal it could be. Whoever wins today will move up to 14th in the first division. West Brom 16th at start of play and Charlton 17th. It will really put some distance between themselves and the bottom clubs. And trouble here for Albion, who lost, remember, 1-0 here in midweek to Watford face a double that they don't want against London opposition. Whyte used his body strength well there, and here goes Mortimer cantering up against O'Regan, and they've got plenty of players supporting. Here's Whyte again, edge of the area. David Whyte might get a second. Ooh, I thought he was going to try and curl the shot. Robson instead takes on his marker and gets a goal kick given. It just clipped the ankle of Mark Robson. I thought David Whyte might have been in for a second goal.
Well, it was, here we see the goal again. It was good of Nelson. He could have easily gone down there appealing. Some professionals would have done, I have to say. Stayed on his feet, kept working to finally get the shooting position in.
Well, Garry Nelson then with his 9th goal of the season, and the response by Albion manager Alan Buckley is to bring on Bob Taylor here with a clear message: go out and get me a goal or two. And he's replaced Andy Hunt. The pressure all on West Bromwich Albion, especially with their fans the way they are at the moment. There goes the other substitute, Ashcroft now. Might have just overdone this. Just to lay it back now for Hamilton. And not a good ball from Hamilton. That really was an invite to the young fullback Stuart. It'd be nice for him to figure in an away win on his debut.
Yeah, he did very well with interception there, Stuart, but he got carried away and tried to make a run forward. He's just got to sit now. His inexperience mustn't show. They're in the lead, they're away from home. Gritton Kerbishley will be saying, keep your shape, because we can get this ball up the front to Whyte. He can scare them. He can scare them. The more they push forward, the more White's got a chance of getting behind them. He's got the subtlety, and so is Robson on the right.
Free kick, Rufus on Taylor. Well, he's up against an older hand now, and Richard Rufus will have a yellow card for that tackle. The first of the day.
Well, I think Bob Taylor's okay.
Some of the crowd didn't expect more. Here's a foul. And it's a yellow card for Richard Rufus. Albion leading a goal. Ashcroft's free kick. And there's plenty of bodies in there, and a spectacular stop from Salmon. I'll refrain from using the word leaping. It was Raven's header. And I'll also refrain from using it about Raven as well. But he gets up well, and Albion still looking for this equaliser, have a corner kick. And again, the tall men are in there. That was Mardon. Ashcroft chips another one up, and there might be a chance here for an equaliser. Wonderful stop again. Taylor's shot, and he looks to the heavens and wonders how on earth Mike Salmon kept that out.
Well, he swooped like a salmon twice. But here we see it. Lovely little flick, confused the defenders. Good early shot. Wonderful save.
Well, he's made two, and Bob Taylor denied there a goal. He has to be the fulcrum of the Albion attack now, Taylor, alongside Rees. But there's still chances for Charlton, you feel, to get a second goal the way they're playing. Oh. Well, Garry Nelson is going through the routine. He certainly didn't expect it, and what's a little story there with Stuart Naylor.
Well, it wasn't Nelson's birthday, was it, today?
It would have been if that had ended in the net. No, it's not Nelson's birthday, it's Steve Lilwall's at the end. Just look at this. Heart-stopping moment for the goalkeeper.
Bad first touch.
It was like a training session, wasn't it? Albion have thrust Raven up there more and more in this search for a goal to settle their side down and to settle their fans down, and that's another one that's going to end in the crowd from Rees.
Albion must relax now. They must try and get their passing going. I think they look as though they're going to pen Charlton in a little bit more. Here we see that header comes in. It's certainly going into that corner. It's a marvellous save.
Max Salmon's done well.
After a first half where Salmon's had really little to do, he's pulled them out the fire twice.
Free kick. Well, who knows? The last time Charlton Athletic won on television in a live game was the 1947 FA Cup final. 1-0. A man called Duffy, I think, got the goal that day. I wonder if he's watching. Free kick for Charlton, looking for a second goal, and coming at the back post, Balmer. And Albion's defence caught napping.
Good free kick, good late run by Balmer too. Albion don't look too clever in the covering positions. O'Regan and Lilwall at full-back. Here we see that ball, clears everyone, and that's hit the post.
Well, Balmer's last goal was also on live television last season at Leicester City, so he obviously likes the cameras. Free kick Albion's way, foul on Taylor by Rufus again. Richard Rufus now knows he's in a contest against Bob Taylor, that's for sure. And there is Taylor laying the ball off nicely for Hamilton. There's the clearance by Stuart, who's got to play his part, this young man. It's a quick learning process for him in defence too.
They've got a history of producing good left backs at Charlton.
Yes, I've no doubt you're thinking of the likes of Scott Minto, David.
Yes, and the other boy also went off on the road to Chelsea and Barnes.
Lilwall's ball direct to Robson, and here again goes Nelson, and Naylor way off his line. This time doesn't pass the ball direct to the attacker. Nothing wrong with Jones's challenge to win the ball back, and Charlton looking very composed at the moment. Robson. Square ball from Hamilton encourages O'Regan to romp up in attack and feed the ball down that right channel. And here goes Donovan, he's done well, he's skipped past the young full-back and he's got the ball in here towards Bradley. No competitive challenge really by Albion on the edge of the area. And then Whyte is fouled.
The more the two Albion midfield players push forward, Bradley is basically a holding player, Hamilton likes to go on. The more they push forward, the more Charlton got that opportunity to hit the ball beyond them, the clearance ball, and Whyte can pick it up in front of the Albion central defenders. That's when he can get to work, because he's certainly good at coming to meet the ball and twisting and turning.
Well, looks of concern on the bench of West Bromwich Albion. Looks of concern, I would think, from Charlton with that Balmer free kick straight out of play. But he's had a good return to the side at the centre of defence alongside Rufus. It's been a solid back line, and I commented earlier on Steve Brown, David. I think he's done a good job today. Headed away by Mardon, but picked up again by Alan Pardew. So the scoreline: West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Here's Stuart. An unavailing run by Garry Nelson, scorer of the one goal in the game so far. At 34 years of age, probably the oldest man on the pitch, I would think. Mardon. Oh, and another wretched ball out of defence by Paul Mardon, which Robson accepted. Brown testing back there, just doing enough to cut the Albion man Raven off, and the ball played straight out. Well, Whyte has made himself available so many times. Brown again. Good intuitive ball to Pardew, and now it's Jones, and they really worked very hard in midfield, Charlton, today. Pardew, Jones, right across the line. Across to Robson, good quality ball again. And when it breaks loose, it's picked up by Ashcroft. And now Regan. Taylor, who leads the line so well, but they're still not finding it, and you've got the feeling that they've just snuffed that little bit of fire. Albion seemed to be having a bit more passion about their game a few minutes ago, but they've taken the steam out of them again.
Yeah, there was an initial reaction to the goal, and the crowd was spurring them on, and then the introduction of Bob Taylor. But in the last few minutes, Charlton have composed themselves again and used their strength, which is to pass the ball, use the width well, and keep the ball on the move.
And look at this, down on the touchline, it seems that West Bromwich Albion are going to bring on their reserve goalkeeper, Tony Lange, in place of Stuart Naylor. Well, Naylor has a back problem. It's a recurring one, I think, and so it gives the former Charlton Athletic goalkeeper, Tony Lange, the opportunity to play against his old club. So Naylor gets a good hand as he goes off. He certainly could not be blamed with the goal struck by Garry Nelson. And Tony Lange, who in his Charlton Athletic days played a dozen league games, comes on in his place. No problems there. Always nice to play against your old club. And Lang's got the opportunity. No free kick there. But Albion have got to make something happen for themselves. It's just not happening at the moment. And Salmon effectively puts boot to ball. Just in case anybody should write or ring in about the question of a third substitute appearance, that's okay, because the third man is a goalkeeper. 2 outfield players and 1 goalkeeper allowed as substitutes. So Lange, Ashcroft and Taylor all on for Albion, and Charlton haven't as yet used either of their subs. But here goes Ashcroft now for West Bromwich Albion, and plies a cross in, which could be a dangerous one, and a little back header from Stuart, and he's then allowed to chase after the ball without any pressure put on him at all, and the Albion fans didn't enjoy that either. In fact, overall, they've not enjoyed their afternoon too much so far.
That's a lovely ball by Stuart, because he wasn't sure what was behind him, and he flicked it back, he got after it quick and whacked it down the field. That's good defending.
That's a good ball, and here goes Ashcroft. Screamer of a shot, and he deserved better reward. Flicked off the outside of the upright, and when that sort of thing happens, you wonder if he's ever going to go in for them.
That's a fine shot, and you felt he could have taken it on, but he really let his leg go back, and he ripped into that one. Splendid. It was a lovely layoff in the first place. I think it was Rees that put him onto that ball. Terrific shot.
Lee Ashcroft, 7 goals this season, joint top scorer with Taylor, and that would have been a very popular goal. Now the ball over the top, trying to get it beyond Raven, and a belated offside flag, I would say, from the far side of the field.
In defence of the linesman there, I think that the referee was slow to look over on his diagonal.
It's too long. So it's still West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Let's rejoin Matthew on the touchline.
Thanks, John. Just had a quick word with Steve Gritt on the Charlton bench, and it was a very relaxed bench, not surprisingly after that goal. But latterly they've looked a bit more worried and have admitted that things have gone a bit lax for Charlton of late, and they must get a grip on the goal again. Because Steve Gritt is a bit worried that if Garry Nelson's goal proves to be the winner, it's going to cost him a fortune at the bar later on this evening.
We'll all be there in the queue, Matthew. Yes, is the jinx about to be broken? They've been on television so many times and failed to win. They really groan when it's announced that we're going to be there, but who knows? Today might be the one to break the hoodoo. West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Charlton, though, will think that they need a second goal. And here come Albion to make sure that they're the next on the score sheet. Donovan. Layoff from Rees, but it's not going to find anybody in a blue shirt. And now he looks a little more anxious, Steve Gritt.
I think what Charlton have done, they've dropped Nelson just a little bit deeper, so that he just makes sure that he's got enough bodies in midfield and Albion can't play around them. And Whyte really now has got the lone front running job. Of course, they can still go down the flanks. I would say they're in a nice position. They've used neither substitute. There's 20 minutes or so to go and leading 1-0.
Yes, I think I've detected a first look at the watch there from Steve Gritt. And as a manager, David, when you're down there in this situation, it must seem an eternity.
Well, it's supposed to be a stressful job, but I don't know.
14 minutes left. You look very relaxed, actually, today. It's a very easy game from up here, isn't it? Steve Gritt and Alan Curbishley have been in the game long enough to know it's not all over by a long way yet. They've been in charge since July 1991 when Lenny Lawrence left the club for Middlesbrough. And what a good job they've done on no money whatsoever, really. Keep producing their youngsters, and another of them in there today in Jamie Stuart. And out comes the old warhorse himself, Alan Pardew. What a great player he's been for them as well. We've got to have the good old uns as well as the good young uns. Pardew definitely comes in that category.
He won't be very happy with Nelson. Pardew, he's made a run right into the box and he's let them down there, Nelson. He's given that ball away cheaply.
So it's been Albion's Lilwall. 25 today. Careering into attack. Raven pumping it down this left-hand channel where Brown again uses his height well. Good tenacious play from Ashcroft. Rees. Albion have no more cards to play. They've got their final 14 out there. This is Taylor. Charlton have two subs they can bring on, and then it's Rufus's header and it's Brown's boot, which effect the clearance this time up to David Whyte. Lovely little layoff again, and Donovan into the area here. Donovan across the face of goal, and the clearance is a good one from Balmer. 2 yards short of the line. Donovan's pace, they might well have brought him down there, and that would have been a penalty, I've no doubt. That was intelligent play from Donovan. Now Robson, who's got to slow things down. Trying to turn Lilwall dizzy. Nice angled header from Balmer. The crowd thought it wasn't so clever, but it was a good one. And now Charlton may make their first substitution. And the player coming off is Mark Robson, who's worked very hard in this game, but will give way for this closing spell to Mickey Bennett, former Wimbledon player, Brentford man. And a good time to come on.
Yeah, I think this is purely a case of a little bit of energy for a slightly tired Robson. Very lightweight player, but a skillful player. Now they need strength.
Still West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Well, it would certainly be an excellent win for Charlton to move them up a couple of places up the table. This is the substitute, Bennett. Oh, and it nearly crept through to Whyte. And well played by the youngster Stuart there, who spotted what was on the throw out from Tony Lange. Got in there to deny possession to Albion. Yes, he's grown in confidence as Stuart at left back. He hasn't been taken on. I would have thought Ashcroft might have gone to the right hand side, a side that he favours more, and that West Brom might have reorganised a little bit to see if Ashcroft's pace could have got at Stuart a little bit. He hasn't really been threatened over that side. Donovan's very much a playmaker who sits and makes passes from there. He doesn't really go beyond. And saying that, he's just gone into the box there, and Charlton have got that ball away well. It was Keith Jones, I think, that almost gave a penalty away and in trying to challenge Jones, who for me has been outstanding this afternoon. Yes, I'll go along with that. He's worked very hard indeed. That's over the whole Charlton side. They've one more substitute left to bring on, should they choose to do so, in Scott McGleish. And here they've got good possession again with Mortimer. Bennett. Furious ball from Bennett. But they're still winning plenty of possession, and Bennett's shot almost whistled to the right of Tony Lange, and the goalkeeper who's just come on always wants to have to make a save. Charlton continue to defend resolutely, and the referee ought to stop play now because Lilwall has gone down with a head injury, and no blame attached whatsoever to Bennett in the challenge there, but Lilwall stayed down and the referee had to stop the action. Something he doesn't want to remember on his birthday. Yeah, you see Bennett here go up. He's only got eyes for the ball, Bennett. And it's actually Lilwall that catches the back of Bennett's head, a pure, complete accident. Mickey Bennett, once quite a big money player. Yeah. Well, this a moment ago was the shot by Mickey Bennett, well plucked out of the air by Tony Lange. Yeah, good positioning by Tony Lange there. It's not easy to come on as a substitute goalkeeper where you haven't really warmed up with any kind of ball work, ball exercises, and just go straight in there and be expected to get your angles. And Lilwall looks a little bit shaken by that. A bit groggy. And I saw the physiotherapist just look to the bench there, and he looked worried in allowing him to continue, because with a head injury you cannot take any risks whatsoever. He may be a tough cookie, but there's no point in taking a risk, even if it does mean that your team will be down to 10 men. Now I think Alan Buckley, if Charlton are to hold on with this lead, he'll have to put this week behind him. He hasn't had a good week. No, but it's not all over yet. And Balmer hoofs the ball up over the halfway line. And Lilwall shows he's recovered by putting boot to ball himself. He still looks a little groggy to me. Former Kidderminster Harriers fullback, only in the side today because of illness to Paul Edwards. And another young left back here, Scott Darton, is out on loan at the moment. Now Nelson, scorer of the game's only goal so far. Brown might go for the ball through the middle, and what a good ball it is, and Mortimer could wrap it all up for Charlton here. Still Paul Mortimer. Oh, and a terrific intervention by Mardon prevents Albion going to certain defeat. Well, that's a great clearance, isn't it? I mean, Mortimer's done all the hard work. He threatened to shoot with his good foot, his left. It's a marvellous ball by Brown. He's not offside, he's taken it, he's about to shoot, comes back inside, and then you'd fancy him. It was a lovely shot, but splendidly saved by Mardon. Terrific covering that. Another yard either side, and Mardon would have handled it, no doubt, and it would have really made Albion's day. Penalty and a man sent off. As it is, they're still a goal behind to Charlton Athletic, who have this corner. And the man who's just been thwarted, Mortimer, will loft it in. And under it is Balmer. Still contesting possession there with O'Regan. And Balmer does well enough to win the throw-in for Charlton Athletic. Maybe on the verge of their 4th away league win of the season. Well, the man of the match has been named today by John Sillett of Central Television as Keith Jones, and that really just endorses what David Pleat was saying a moment or two ago, that Jones has had an outstanding game.
I always thought that Sillett was a bad judge, but he has done very well. He's tackled, he's passed the ball, he's kept the ball on the move in the important central area as Keith Jones. He's read the game well. Sometimes look at him and wonder whether his career got lost. He did very well early days at Chelsea, but he certainly played very well today for Charlton.
Keith Jones named as the Ensley League man of the match then. And here he is again. Well, Albion have it all to do in these closing moments if they are to avert a second successive home defeat. And this team with a great record here at the Hawthorns. Good tackle by Rufus on Taylor again. Showed his pace in getting back there. And Charlton do not look like a side that have conceded 9 goals in their last 2 league games. And here's Donovan again, and down he goes, spread eagle on the edge of the area. The referee had a good view of it, said no foul. To be fair, he didn't complain, and away goes Mortimer again on the gallop. There's 2 in field. No foul either there.
The game's getting stretched now. Charlton can't afford it to get stretched.
Offside. The referee has only just spotted it. And that brought Steve Gritt to the touchline, but there it is. Martin Mountain, the linesman. So frustration for Bob Taylor and for all here at the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion, one of the traditional great clubs, of course, in England, but struggling to make an impact in the First Division at the moment. As for Steve Gritt and Alan Kirbishley, well, I wonder, is this the day the television jinx is about to be broken? Lange, pressurised by Nelson, and again it was Jones who was in quickly. Really epitomised their effort today. Mardon with the flick. Oh, and the ball laid back by Bennett wasn't a good one. But, Salmon just got there in the nick of time. Well played by Whyte. Now it's Mortimer. Too languid this time. It comes away for Bennett. Bennett and Whyte make progress, and away he goes. And now can Mickey Bennett finish it for Charlton with a second goal? The keeper, Lange, makes a sprawling stop, and Charlton really should have been home and dry by now.
That's a great surge by Bennett, and he definitely showed a lack of pace there in the Albion backline. You feel that whenever Whyte and Whyte particularly got at them, there possibly was that deficiency there, but that was a really good break.
Charlton want to slow things down by making a second substitution, but they'll have to pause, because here is Ashcroft. He'll take on this Charlton defence again, and he'll try and get a decent ball in. He didn't do so, and now Charlton surely can bring off David Whyte. But here's the moment when Bennett might have clinched it.
Yeah, he cut across him well there. It was a good stop. It was a good stop. He just lost his angle. It was a little bit straight at the last minute. And now Whyte's leaving the field. I suppose this is McGleish's debut, is it?
Yes, it is, Dave. And here he is, Scott McGleish, 21 years of age, a striker who got 40 goals last season, but that was for Edgware Town. This is a little bit different. This is the First Division.
I can remember another good striker from Edgware Town, a boy called Brian Steen.
Absolutely. Bennett again. Can they really confirm their victory here? The ball by Bennett ends in the hands of Lange, and he ends through an advertising hoarding. Much to the delight of the fans, of whom there are over 12,000 here today. The last throw of the dice, Albion, and the goalkeeper Salmon way off his line and deals competently again with that. All laid in, headed away firmly for Charlton. McGleish is the only Charlton man left. And rather unhappily, so far as the Hawthorns fans are concerned, Lange put the ball out. And Charlton only too happy to take their time now. We're so close to full time here at West Brom.
I heard the cry of "Don't rush." Couldn't have been an Albion supporter, could it? It must have been from that Charlton bench.
You're not suggesting there are one or two cynics in the crowd, David, surely?
No, I heard something from the Charlton bench shouting "Don't rush."
Well, it's been an extremely workmanlike performance by Charlton Athletic. They haven't won the points as yet, especially as Tony Rees goes on through the middle. And there's that young boy, Jamie Stuart, again, to knock the ball back to his goalkeeper. And I'm sure Messrs Grit and Kirbishley were mightily pleased with him.
Yeah, that was vital covering.
Not been at all overawed on his first team debut.
Plus the reserves, I think they're still top of the football combination, which just shows the production line at Charlton. They work hard with the youngsters. Keith Peacock, of course, is a very good coach, and of course they had John Cartwright, an excellent coach, coaching at youth level over the last 2 or 3 years.
Ashcroft. Distraught Albion fans urging Lilwall with that famous phrase, "Get on with it." And Tony Lange allowing the ball to run out, but Charlton Athletic still here on the threshold of an away victory. Albion's free kick, and they've got to do everything hastily now. And Ashcroft will receive the pass from Bradley and plays it first time up there, but Albion have been beaten and the jinx is over for Charlton Athletic, who win on live television for the first time in 48 years since the FA Cup final of 1947. A single goal in the second half by Garry Nelson was enough to send those Charlton fans happy back down the motorway to South London. Final score, West Bromwich Albion 0, Charlton Athletic 1. So it really is a momentous day for Alan Kirbishley and for Steve Gritz and Garry Nelson in particular. Nice day for him, David, please.
Yeah, he took a good goal, but it was a very disciplined performance by Charlton. I thought they passed the ball well. I thought after they got over the first 15 minutes of the game, they began to assert themselves in terms of territorial advantage. I thought they were always the more threatening side. They showed more penetration than Albion. Albion came with a little bit of a run when Taylor came on, but all in all, you have to say Charlton have come here today against a team with a very good home record, and they've deservedly won the points.
But a second home defeat in a row for West Bromwich Albion, who lost to Watford in midweek and lose again today. Well, let's go down to Matthew Lorenzo on the touchline with two very happy Charlton Athletic players, Keith Jones and Garry Nelson.
Garry, Keith Jones, I have to warn you, Garry, that your boss is a very angry man. Steve Gret reckons he's going to owe you a fortune in drinks later on tonight.
Well, it's about time we bought a drink, but no, we broke our duck. We were a little bit aware of the situation regarding the television, and you know, we're just pleased with it. I thought we deserved it, really. First half we played really well without getting the reward, and we battled away second half under a bit of pressure, but great result for us when we needed it.
Keith, thanks, Garry. Keith Jones, man of the match. Here's the presentation taking place. Not many chances, but at least you got the win.
That's right. The situation we're in, it's going to be a battle. You know, we're both in the midst of a bad run, but we've come through it well. The lads have really shown a lot of grit today.
And will you be buying the drinks or earning them tonight?
I hope that Gritty and Curves get them in anyway.
Okay.
Bye, Sophie. I'll be coming home.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Yes, he'll be coming home. They sorted it out, gave him the trophy in the end. He'd have certainly torn that one off of Garry Nelson. But Billy Bonds, we were suffering in here a bit with everybody else, and I'm personally delighted for everybody down at Charlton that we can finally nail that particular fact to the wall.
Yeah, I'm pleased for them. It's a great result. I would think Alan Kirbysh and Stevie Gritt would be delighted with the way they played today. When you look at the injuries they've got in the side, the youngsters they brought in today, and I think you'd be proud of them. Great result.
That's right. I think when Alan was sitting where you were sitting a few weeks ago, I think I in a rash moment promised him a bottle of champagne if Charlton managed to win up there. So no doubt he'll be ringing me to claim that one. But
sure
against the odds, with all the injuries and everything, I mean, it's a terrific result for them.
Yeah, it's just what they needed. It'll be a real boost to them. As I say, they've got that game against Sunderland next week. If they can win that, then they can start to push up the table.
Yeah, let's hope so. It'll take them a few places up the table. This Garry Nelson, been a great pro, wearing the armband today, and he does well here. To stand up, doesn't he, Bill?
Well, there's a lot of players you could think of would go down in this situation, and he stays on his feet. He could go down and maybe try and get a pen. He stays on his feet. It's honest. He's very honest, and he gets his reward for being honest. It's a good goal, terrific goal.
He's, as you say, he's personally, the left back, as Lilwall has dived in, and I think in the first half he stayed on his feet again. That's good for any young player.
That's right. I mean, he's created himself a goal-scoring chance here by just staying on his feet and being honest about it instead of maybe diving over.
That's
and he's got his reward for it.
Now Mortimer, who I thought had a spectacularly good game, really could have had more goals, and he does really well here. But the defender gets back so well to get it off the line. Mardon, I think it is.
Yep, he does everything right. He looks shapes to shoot, and then he just drags it inside him, and really it looks a goal. But give credit to the defender. He's done what all good defenders should do. He's tried to get back behind his keeper, and he's made a good clearance for it.
Now Mike Salmon, who's been in and out of the side a bit. Some splendid saves. This was from the header from Raven.
Yeah, I think this is just after the goal or just before, I'm not quite sure, but he's pulled off a couple of good saves on the trot here. That's a great save, you know, it's going top corner. And then there was another one, I think, from Bob Taylor just after that.
That's right, it was just after the goal, in fact.
And,
so
he's made two important saves for them.
Crucial stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they deserved it anyway, you know. It would have been a shame for them to
That's right. Let's just take a check at the table, Bill, and no change at the top because this was very much a down table affair that we've been looking at today, but well, there's just to confirm how the top does look for you, and of course Charlton not in that top 12, but let's see what it's done for Charlton, picking up the 3 points at the Hawthorns. Well, it shifted them up nicely. In fact, it's moved them up over West Bromwich Albion, and now Charlton move up to 14th place. So that's good, Bill, because I don't know, I detect sitting here with you, I mean, people would automatically associate with West Ham after all those years you had at West Ham, but you've got deep affection for Charlton.
Yes, I have. I mean, West Ham's obviously always going to be my club, but I've got great affection for Charlton. As I say, my mum and dad used to go down there, and the family, and I had some great times down there. And I'm pleased to see them going well. I mean, I think personally Alan Kirbysh and Stevie Gritt have done a great job there.
Yes.
On a very low budget, they bought good, they get good kids in. They give them their chance, and I think they've done a great job down there. And I'd be pleased to see them get up the table.
Yeah, I would endorse that. It's such a harsh world, isn't it, the managerial world, and fans live for today, and a lot of them forget what these two fellas have done in recent years.
Well, I think the last, when we were down there, I mean, they were always pushing us for one of the, I mean, we got promoted, but they were pushing us for the playoff spots, and you know, it's hard to do that on the budget they've got, and all right, they're having a little bit of a tough time this year, but you know, I think if they can continue that form, they can push up the table again.
Yeah. I think we can go up to the Hawthorns now, and I think we've got a camera actually in the dressing room there. And
hello, I can speak, but I can't.
Yeah, well, we can hear a little bit from Matthew Lorenzo. Go on, Matt, tell us what's happening up there.
Welcome.
It was Jim Rosenthal promised us.
I knew we'd remember that.
From Jim Rosenthal, not from me. The last time this happened, Alan Kirbishley, was in 1947. Jim Rosenthal was a small boy.
Was he?
Charlton have won a televised match. How's it feel?
Well, it's been a long time coming. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest of games, but I think we deserved it. It was difficult for both sides because there was so much on it. But I'm pleased for the lads. They worked ever so hard. Pleased for Jamie Stuart, first game, played cracking. And let's hope we can go on from here. We've got a really big game next week, Sunderland. If we can win that, then we can get ourselves out a little bit of bother.
What about the skipper?
Well, we decided to make him the skipper because I think Garry Nelson epitomises everything in a pro. He works his legs off, he works hard, he's a great lad, and I think we didn't think of giving it to anybody else, really.
Is it seriously, is it a relief to you all lifting this hoodoo?
It is, but we won't mind you back because of the money. No, I think the chairman will be happy to get you back, but I think it got a bit long, didn't it, 14 games, and we was getting a little bit worried about it because we haven't played that bad on the TV, just haven't won. And Gritty said today that Tranmere broke their hoodoo last week, so it was our turn.
All right, enjoy the trip home, it should be a lively one.
Yeah, thank you.
I knew he wouldn't forget the bottle will be on its way to the Valley this week. Tomorrow night, 12:50 then, Gabriel Clark, 95 goals now, and that special feature on Bruce Rioch's Bolton ends in the extra 12:50 tomorrow night. International athletics also here on LWT next Saturday, 2:45, Britain against France. Gunnell, Christie, Jackson and Regis all in the British team there. And just a reminder, next Sunday afternoon, live Coca-Cola Cup semi-final, Swindon against Bolton with Bob Wilson, 2:30 next Sunday. And Wednesday week you can follow the Palace live here on ITV at Anfield, 8 o'clock the time. Billy, thanks for your company.
Enjoyed
Charlton will want you more often, I would think.
Yeah, we bought them a bit of that today. It's great.
Great stuff. Well, they finally buried that hoodoo thanks to their captain, or should I say, Admiral Nelson. Bye-bye from us all.